Hello there, Cancer. Thank you so much for stopping by tonight to check out, or today, whatever time it might be while you're looking at this, to check out your monthly tarot video forecast. This forecast is for the month of May, and I've got it broken down into two segments. The first one is May the 1st through May the 15th, and after that we'll look at May the 16th through the 31st in our next segment. Right now, let's just put down some cards and see what comes up for the first half of May for you Cancers. First thing I'm looking at here talks to me about your environment. And your environment is any place where you have energy or effort invested. For most people it'll be home, but for others it may be school or work. So you want to just kind of have an open mind to what I may be seeing here. But what comes up is that there's a whole new beginning in your environment. So you could be in a completely new environment. You may have a new job, a new workplace, a new home, whatever environment this is either a whole new environment or there's something going on in the environment that is completely new, which changes how things go forward in that environment from that point forward. Next thing that we have coming up does talk to me about your subconscious leanings during this time frame, and it looks to me like you are hoping and thinking about the idea of additional finances or additional material goods. And it looks to me like your subconscious may be working on, how can I win the lottery? Or is this person going to give me a gift? Or am I going to receive an inheritance? So your subconscious is really working on this idea of receiving a gift, receiving something that makes you feel grateful somehow during this time frame. Does not have to be money, although when this card comes up, most of the time it is something very tangible that we're talking about. Now the next thing that we have showing up is talking to me about your learning style and your communication style. The first thing that I'm seeing right now, Geminis, is that you are very sharp. You're very quick-witted. However, there's a situation, there's definitely something in your life right now that you are not willing to look at the full picture. You're not willing to look at all of the facts. It's like you will dig for information, but only so far, only to a certain point. You want to be really careful with this, because if you don't get full information, you can end up making some decisions that later on you might wish that you had really put some more effort into doing your due diligence on. So don't be in a hurry to make any decisions right now. Don't be in a hurry to say, okay, I've got this, I've learned it. Go ahead, take your time, do your due diligence as you're finding out about things. Make sure that you've got the big picture, because the way the energy sits here right now, the temptation is going to be for you not to do that, for you to basically go off half-cocked with only partial information and make a decision. And we all know those are the types of decisions we regret later. So switch that energy up. You have free will, and that's the beauty of getting a reading ahead of time, is that you have the opportunity then, because you have the heads up, to change these outcomes, to make my cards not be true. And sometimes that's a good thing, right? So make sure that you're taking your time to get full, complete information before you're taking any action or making any decisions during this time frame. As far as your communication style during this time frame, I feel like your communication is extremely truthful, but it could also be coming out extremely hurtful as well. And so you may be being very sarcastic, or you may be saying things that you just don't really care how the other person feels. And that is, that's your choice, how you want to communicate the truth. But I do believe that the truth can generally be communicated with some kind of compassion. Right now, when I'm looking at this, I'm really not seeing the truth communicated with compassion at this moment. It looks to me like that's really pushing it for you, like that you're having a hard time having some compassion for somebody. And I get that. I've been there. The problem is that when we get into that headspace, it only makes it harder for us. So you may want to really try to see if you can tweak that. Just a suggestion, you don't have to follow it. But, what good would I be doing you if I saw a problem and I didn't say something about it? Not much, huh? All right, let's look next at work. So it does look like you're working with some other people and you do have a common goal or a common target that you're all trying to work together to reach. And what comes up here is that there are some obstacles in the way and that reaching that goal is not happening just now. It may happen later, it may just be delayed, but for right now it's definitely not happening, not during this time frame. Now this is not a card that says you're not going to reach this goal. It just says not now. So don't get discouraged. Keep looking at the target. Keep moving forward because eventually you're still going to reach that target or that goal, whatever that is that you're working with other people to achieve or to accomplish. Next thing I'm looking at does talk to me about that part of your personality which is growing or expanding right now, Geminis. Geminis, I think some of you are dealing with some type of addiction issue, and this is coming in a couple of different ways for both of you. And I feel like for some of you, for both of you, there's two groups of you. So for both groups, this is coming in two different ways. For some of you, I feel like you are personally dealing with some type of addiction issue, and you're making the decision, you know what, I am no longer going to let this control my life or rule my life or run me. For others of you, you're in a situation where you're a supporting person or you're somebody who cares about somebody who is dealing with some addiction issues and they're deciding, I'm no longer letting this addiction run me or rule me. And so you're more than witnessing this, although you can't do this for them. They have to make that decision. But I feel like you are a supporting person for the other person. If this is not you, if this is somebody else that is trying to gain control back in their life over an addiction, I feel like you're in a supporting position. So you could be a spouse, you could be a parent, you could be a sibling, you could be a best friend. And so I think that you are witnessing this person as they struggle to gain that control back of their life. Okay? So you just want to be prepared. You know, what can I do to help them? Obviously, they have to do the work, but what can I do to be supportive? Next thing that we're looking at does talk to me about those things that you stand for, and at the same time, we'll also look at how somebody else feels about this thing that you're standing for, okay? So it looks to me like you are either making plans for a trip or you're making some type of long-term plans. Long-term plans could be, you know, in a year or two we're going to get married, or I'm going to be buying a house, or in a couple of years I want to trade in my car for whatever's the newest, greatest then. You know, some type of long-term plans, or there's plans of travel. Now this comes in either way for me. And I think this is what you're defending. This is what you're standing up for. You know, you feel like what you're doing is exactly what's appropriate and what's right. Now, how the other person sees you, because there's been somebody who has confronted you or asked for an explanation about this, and how they see you is that your energy is scattered. That's what they see. They may or may not be right. I'm just saying how they're seeing things after this conversation with them. So they feel like your energy is scattered and a little bit all over the place, and I don't think they're taking your future plans too seriously. It looks to me like they feel like because your energy is so scattered, you're not going to be able to accomplish whatever it is you're making your future plans for. Okay? What do they know, right? Or do they know? Let's see. Next thing that we're going to look at talks to me about the lesson or experience of this life cycle. And so what we have is, is this Cancer or is this somebody else? Okay, so Cancer, it looks to me like the lesson or experience of this time frame has to do with dealing with somebody who I feel it could be a man or a woman. For different ones of you, it's going to be different. It does show up as a king here, but I really get the strong feeling that that doesn't matter. Gender really doesn't matter on this card. But you're dealing with somebody who is very logical, somebody who takes action based on logic. They don't make any decisions based on how they feel or their emotions. They could be, for some of you, this is somebody who is very scientifically oriented. For others of you, this is somebody who is just very logical. who thinks about things in a very logical way, just naturally as a part of their personality. And so this is somebody that you're interacting with. Why is Cancer interacting with this person? I think you're actually getting their advice or getting their input about something. You're very interested in knowing what it is that they think about something, because obviously Cancer, I understand, I'm Scorpio, so water signs, we look at things more emotionally. We have a different perspective as we're making decisions than this other person who looks at things rationally only. That's going to be a completely different way of looking at things. Okay? And so I feel like, Cancers, you're getting some advice from this person. Now, as you are taking this person's advice very seriously, I think there are some other things that are coming up too. I think that there is a situation where you are starting to collaborate with somebody else. For some of you, it'll be this person themselves. For others of you, it won't be. For some of you, this person is going to be a lawyer that helps you put together a corporation with somebody else. But anyway, either way, whether it's a corporation or something else, I do see you collaborating with somebody, maybe the same person, maybe not. It's going to be different for different ones of you. And also I feel like you have some things that you're working on manifesting and that you were hoping for and anticipating. And I feel like those things are turning out a little bit opposite of what you were expecting right now. So all that really tells me is that there's something that you're dreaming about or that you're hoping for, but on the other side of that coin, you're also afraid that it won't turn out the way that you want it to be, and you're giving more of your thoughts to the fear than you are to the hope. And so once again, this is something that you may want to use free will to turn around and pay attention. If you want something, what are you thinking about? Are you thinking about the fear of what could be, or are you thinking about the hope for what can be? So pay attention, because you want to be focusing more on what you actually want than on that fear, so that because we draw in what we focus on, okay? And then once you get to the end of this particular time frame, or get to the middle of this month, I do see you spending some time with friends. And I feel like these are very supportive friends that are uplifting. As a matter of fact, I do feel like you're going to be relaxing and really enjoying your time with them. But on top of that, I feel like there is this sense of support and encouragement and basically of upliftment, just like what I was talking about for you as you are spending time with these friends. They're just basically confirming the things that are good that you know already, and giving you a little bit of extra momentum or a little bit of extra push to go in that direction. All right, so that's what I've got for the first part of May for you, Cancers. I do appreciate you spending some of your time with me. I'm going to take a break from my voice, and then when I come back, we will look at the end of May. I'll see you in a second. Welcome back, Cancers. Thank you for spending so much of your precious time with me here today. Please feel free to like this video and share it with others who may find it beneficial as well. Right now we are getting ready to look at the energies surrounding May the 16th through the 31st. Please remember, everything that I put on the board is just as the energy sits right now. You do have free will, so if you hear something that you don't like, you have the choice to head that off at the pass by strictly making some different decisions. All right, Cancers, let's start off with your environment. Environment being any place you have energy or effort invested in. And so what I'm seeing here is there's something going on in your environment that is making you feel not hopeful about something. So it could be that there's some type of thing in your environment that you're trying to fix, some kind of mechanical thing that you're trying to fix, and it just seems like no matter what you do, you can't get it going. It could be something like that. It could manifest in a whole lot of different ways, but that's one of the ways it could show up. But there's something going on in your environment that makes you feel a little bit less than hopeful. We like hopeful better. Let's see what's happening in your subconscious leanings during this time frame, Cancers. It looks like you're giving some time in your subconscious Is this something that's already happened or something they're afraid of? So something that you're afraid of. And it looks to me like the thing that you're afraid of is hearing some kind of news from somebody saying that it's not a good idea to go forward with something that you're excited about or something that you want to do. And so your subconscious is really working on, if that happens, then what am I going to do? So really giving some energy to a negative outcome there that you're actually hoping not to have happen. What do we want to do? We want to shift that focus. Try and shift that focus to something that's more positive. All right, next thing that I'm looking at talks to me about learning style and also communication style during this particular time frame. I do think that there's some topic or some group of topics that you already know quite a bit about, and what you're learning about that right now is just more keeping you current, the newest information, because you've got a pretty solid foundation already. Now, communication style. I feel like there is a lot of talk about physical well-being that is going on for you during this time frame. And I also get the sense that you have some other things that you're talking about too, where you are coming across or trying to come across as basically like somebody's savior. Like you really want to help somebody badly. And so you're coming across as incredibly helpful, like way over the top helpful is how you're coming across in certain situations. So it feels to me like there's actually two situations I'm seeing here. One has to do with medical, that there's a lot of medical communication going on right now, and the other is having to do with that you're communicating to somebody that you can be their savior or be able to really help them over and above what would be expected, way over and above. All right, next thing that we're looking at here, Cancers, talks to me about work. And what I'm seeing with work is that you're interacting with somebody I feel really strongly that for a lot of you, we're not talking about work where you get paid to work, but we're talking about work like at home. So a lot of you could be dealing with somebody who is a significant other or a child or a parent. But there's somebody around you that has some type of position of authority, whether it's at work or whether it's at home. This is somebody who has some kind of influence in your life that is pretty direct. And I feel like this person that you're interacting with is somebody who they're not really shooting things straight with you. They want things a certain way, and because they want things a certain way, they are kind of willing to say whatever it is that they feel like you want them to say to convince you to go along with whatever it is that they happen to want. Okay, so for some of you this will be happening at work, but I feel like for a lot of you we're looking at a home situation or a family situation. Even though this is in my work position on my spread, it just feels it has a very strong personal home life type feel to it for most of you. Okay, now the next thing that we're looking at talks to me about that part of your personality which is being grown or expanded right now. It looks like Cancers right now we're dealing with some self-esteem issues. That's what I'm seeing here, that you're not feeling really hot about yourself at this moment. Now, when this card comes up, it says some very specific things to me personally as a reader. When this card comes up, it says, not only have you taken a hit on your self-esteem, Cancers, but the reason you're taking a hit on your self-esteem is because of something somebody outside of you has said to you, has put in your ear, something somebody has said to you. They are trying to put the blame on you for something that really you didn't have that much control over to start with. And you're buying into that. You're believing that. So if you've got somebody trying to put the blame on you for something during this time frame, and this is something that makes you feel like less than, then you want to really try to step back and look at this more objectively so that you can see. You want to ask yourself, you know, how much influence did I really have over that situation in all actuality? And of that influence that I had, did I do the best that I could? Because typically the answer is going to be, number one, not that much influence. And number two, yes, you did the best that you could. And so then you have to kind of let go of this idea that you're the whole root cause of something falling apart or not happening or whatever this is, excuse me, that you're being blamed for. And trust me, I call it out as I see it on the board, because that's my deal with Sacred Spirit, is that I can't candy coat. I can't tell you anything other than what I see here, because otherwise it's not going to be beneficial. If this was something that I was looking at and there would be something coming up telling me, whether it was a feeling or whether it was a card that says, yeah, this is all your fault, I would be saying something different than this, okay? But this is not even your fault. It's just that somebody wants to pin the blame on you. And usually who wants to pin the blame on somebody else is the person who should be taking accountability for the situation to start with. Okay, so anyway, we have a situation where the way the energy sits right now, you're letting somebody get away with just hacking down your self-esteem because you're buying into the stuff that they're telling you. Don't do that. That's my advice to you. Don't do that. Don't believe somebody just because their mouth is moving. Okay? Think about things. Be a critical thinker. All right, next thing that we're going to look at, Cancer, has to do with something that you stand for. And then with this thing that you stand for, somebody's asking you for an explanation, or maybe they're even confronting you about something, and so you have to literally stand up for whatever the situation is, or this person, whatever your case might be. And then so we're going to look at whatever it is you're standing for, but we're also going to look at how does the other person feel about you or see you after you've had this conversation about this thing that you stand for with them. Okay, so what do I see you standing for? It looks like things have been a little bit difficult lately, and we could kind of see that in the first half of the month too. That things weren't just daisies and strawberries and ice cream. So yeah, things have been a little bit difficult, and it looks like you're standing up for the idea that, you know, things have been a little difficult, you know, so I haven't reached, you know, all of my target goals right now. Maybe that's because I'm putting out extra energy to get to what I normally would do. So you're standing up for this idea that things have been a little bit rough lately, and how this person sees you after you've had this conversation, they see you as somebody who is perfectly happy, perfectly satisfied. They're seeing you as somebody who, yeah, things have been rough, but you're not letting that get you down. You're not letting that hold you back. You're still moving forward towards your goals. Maybe you're not getting there as fast as you thought you would originally, but they're still seeing you as happy with making the progress that you're making. Okay? So, next thing we're going to look at does talk to me about the lesson or experience of this particular time frame. And here what we see is there is some kind of breaking free that you're doing. And I really love to see this. This breaking free is, it's breaking free of old shackles. It's breaking free of something that's been holding you back, holding you down. Sometimes this card comes up as you're breaking up from somebody who was really keeping you from being you, basically. This can be letting go of a friendship that was really not a friendship, where this person only said they were a friend, but really they weren't. You could tell from how they were acting. But this can also be breaking free from old thought processes of your own. Maybe this is breaking free of the self-esteem hits that you've been taking. Maybe you're breaking free from that. But there's something going on here where you're breaking free from something that had you shackled, that had you bound, and now you're liberating yourself. Very good card to have come up. Next thing that we have showing up is as you're liberating yourself, you are taking on some kind of new responsibilities. Maybe you're starting a new job. Maybe you're getting a promotion at work. Maybe if you're liberating yourself from a relationship that was really a toxic one, it could be that you're going into a whole new relationship almost instantaneously, almost at the same time. Okay, that could be what's happening here. Either way, you're liberating yourself from something, and at the same time, you're picking up some new responsibilities. I have the sense, because of the way these cards come up, that liberation and those new responsibilities are very much tied together. So it comes down to, you know, there's energy, you know, the universe does not like a void. So where you've created this void by liberating yourself from something, the universe is filling that void with these new responsibilities now. Okay, so this is a good thing. This is not This is not an I'm so weighed down now. This is a good thing. This is a positive move forward to have these responsibilities, okay? The other thing that is going on is you are recognizing that it's going to take some patience and some time to sort of make it through this transition. Because what I'm seeing here, even though these are pip cards, I am seeing a pretty quick transition happening, something that's almost like that fast. So as this transition is happening, it looks to me like you're being really smart and that you're being patient with yourself and allowing yourself to sort of catch up with the transformation that just took place. And then when we get to the end of the month, where we see you is you're in a situation where maybe you were fighting with somebody before, arguing with somebody before on the regular. Now that's not happening anymore. Now life is becoming less fractured and less confrontational and much more peaceful, much more zen for you. A lot of the drama is leaving, and maybe that's because that's what you broke yourself away from, is the drama or the source of the drama. So drama is leaving, peace is coming in. That allows you to pick up some new responsibilities and make some changes pretty quickly, and you're giving yourself some time to adjust to those changes. So really great energy around the end of the month. So happy for you, Taurus. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you to those of you who order private readings and private Reiki sessions from me, as well as those of you who view this and share it and like it and make comments. Thank you for all your support. It is because of you guys that I get to do what I love to do for my living. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope you all have a fantastic month. If I don't see you here for a private between now and then, I'll see you back on the next video. Peace out.